DeMar DeRozan made his return to the United Center, and man, was it a game. But one of the stories in that game is how Lonzo Ball continues to add to an incredible comeback season. And another story that took place, Zach Lavine continues his all-star campaign. Y'all know we gonna talk about it all, break it down, but of course, you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shabos podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you tuned in with me today, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well as we continue to bring y'all this fire content. You already know. But the Chicago Bulls yesterday on Sunday, early in the afternoon, well, not early in the afternoon, but in the afternoon, faced off against the Sacramento Kings in a game that was a great game, a back and forth affair. Even came down to the last few minutes to see if we can have that battle between DeMar DeRozan and Zach Lavine. We seen a little bit of it, but essentially the Sacramento Kings came out with the win. In that game, DeMar DeRozan, he dropped 21 points and 3 assists and had a pretty damn good night returning to the United Center. And you would think that his return would spark something in most of these guys that play with him just so they could be like, hey, DeMar, look what we doing now. What's up, dog? You know? Zach Lavine answered that call. 36 points on the night, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Love to see that out of him. Lonzo Ball got his first start and added 15 points. P. Will, we thought we was going to see a little P. Will action over there. Yeah, we seen a little bit more aggressiveness out of P. Will, but still ended the game with 8 points and 5 assists. No Kobe White on the night. No Ayo Dosunmu on the night. We did see Dalen Terry get 15 minutes, but didn't do much in that regard. But it is what it is. And Julian Phillips even had a little run too. But hey, guys like Ayo Dosunmu, man, I know he mad that that damn calf injury kind of flared up at the wrong time. My man's that missed Derrick Rose night, one of Chicago's own, and then he missed DeMar DeRozan's return. I know Ayo Dosunmu wanted to pass the whole Sacramento Kings for some type of flush or lay in, man. But it is what it is. But coming out of this game, I had to really, really look at one of the things that is a great storyline to follow, and that contains Lonzo Ball, man. Lonzo Ball continues to add on to his incredible comeback season. And I'll be one of the first ones holding and standing right here before you all and say, I was not a believer to believe that Lonzo will come back and look like this. I was not a believer in, you know what I'm saying, in one of the first surgeries in NBA history to happen of this magnitude with a cartilage transplant. But hey, it has worked out, and I have to shut the hell up at this point when it comes to what I believe Lonzo Ball could do or couldn't do. And he has shown me that he very well could do. And I got to show him his respect and show him his love. He continues to add on to his incredible comeback season. Now, we did have an injury scare, but it had nothing to do with his lower extremities early in the season when he did go down with the injury. And just this season, you have to give kudos to Lonzo Ball for how he's responded, how he's bounced back, and how he's maintained and took care of his body throughout this season, and how he's played on both ends of the floor for the Chicago Bulls. Lonzo Ball, as a guy that I thought wasn't even going to be scratching 20 minutes for most of the season, has been up there. You know what I'm saying? They did increase the minute total. I think they want to keep it around 25, 26 now. And hopefully we probably get to move on up to the next level to where there's no ceilings. I still think there will be a little bit, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of trust in the process here with the Chicago Bulls and Lonzo Ball before they say, hey, we want to move up to 30, 35 minutes per game. But you can't knock what's already been out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't knock those 26 minutes that are essential to the Chicago Bulls, and Lonzo Ball comes to fill in. We talking about how this continues to be an incredible comeback season. The man started his first game in 3 years. First game in 3 years. You got to give kudos to that for a guy that, me personally, I thought the man, his career was damn near over. Me, I was talking and pretty much said, hey, man, I just hope the man be healthy enough for his family. You know what I'm saying? But kudos to Lonzo Ball. Worked this tail off. Proved all the doubters wrong. Yes, including me. And came back and has been way better than what I ever expected. Not even gonna hold you. Way better than what I expected. And last night with that 15 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 5 of 8 from the 3-point line, you can't turn the blind eye of that. You got to pay attention to something like that, especially with how Lonzo Ball affects the game offensively and defensively for the Chicago Bulls. He's been one of those main pieces to help close out games for the Chicago Bulls, and you got to show love to that. You got to show love to that. If you still hating on that, you just a hating motherfucker. That's just what it come down to. You know what I'm saying? And DeMar DeRozan, after the game, did talk about the what ifs. You know what I'm saying? What if Lonzo Ball never got hurt? It's something that we gonna always talk about. You know what I'm saying? Especially because in that year one with all these guys together before Lonzo went down, they were, you know what I'm saying, up there at the top of the East. And who knows how that season would have ended if Lonzo Ball was still, you know what I'm saying? What if he would have still suffered a knee sprain but was able to return? Who knows what the season would have turned to? But you got to give credit to that. We can play the what if game all we want, but reality is this is where we are now, and we got to show kudos and give credit to Lonzo Ball for the way he's made his return, working through it. He worked his ass off to get back to this point. And you can't knock a man for a man that was back against the wall, pretty much done, pretty much dead to rights, and resurrected his entire career. And you know what I'm saying? Who knows how much longer Lonzo Ball can go now? But I say that, hey, the end is not near. And I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? This guy's still around 26, 27 years old, still got a good few years ahead of him as long as he continue to take care of his body. And I hope that we get to see more opportunities, or he gets to receive more opportunities, you know what I'm saying, as his career continues. I don't know what it's going to look like for the Chicago Bulls, but me, Big Kev, Steve-O, and C-Dub had an interesting conversation on one of the lives that we done this past week with the Chicago Bulls game. It was like, hey, Lonzo Ball is really, really making it hard for people to kind of push him off and send him off in a trade. I'm just saying. And as we already know that the Bulls front office has been crickets, you know what I'm saying? It's been very, very quiet up there. We don't even know if they receiving a text message, let alone a phone call. But we do know Lonzo Ball is making the case for him to stick around for the Chicago Bulls. I don't know if that's in the Bulls plan, but yeah, who's going to replace Lonzo Ball at this point is one of those questions that we had talked about if they were to let him go. But would it be best if they keep him around for the foreseeable future, maybe on a more team-friendly deal? Maybe not at I believe he's saying about over 20, I believe like 21, 22 million per year. Maybe if you can lock him in for something a little cheaper and maybe give him a contract for fewer years or something with some team options in there, maybe that's something that can work. But let's not jump the gun. It was definitely just a conversation that we had. Because Lonzo Ball, man, the impact has just been there. When Josh Giddey is not able to get it going, you can insert Lonzo Ball. He's gonna come in and give you a different type of pace, a different type of feel, and impact the game in a different type of way. So it's some tough decisions that the Chicago Bulls have to make, especially with some of these players, especially mentioning Lonzo Ball. Before you cut the rope, you better make sure you got a good replacement for Lonzo Ball, and you better make sure it's the best decision that you can make. I understand what had happened in the last few years. I know there's some trepidation behind that, but it's definitely a tough decision that you have to come to terms with, especially with depending on what your vision is for this team. So y'all let me know about Lonzo, but he's adding to that incredible comeback season. I don't know if the NBA has a comeback player of the year award, but if it is, I think Lonzo Ball should be at the top of that list, me personally, because this guy was pretty much deemed over. And that motherfucker said not yet. And that was to me. And a couple other people too. I was not a believer. I'm a believer now. I'm a believer now. And that's just what it is. Hey, the man started. I was not a believer that they even start him one game this season. He started. And I could pretty much see if Kobe White's down for a couple more games, he will be starting the next few games because the lineup was a nice lineup to implement. It's one of those closing lineups that they normally can go with minus the addition of Kobe White in that closing lineup. So we'll see what happens with that. But before we get up out of here, we got to talk about Zach Lavine and how he's continuing to add to his all-star campaign. On Sunday, Zach Lavine turned in another strong performance, finishing the game with 36 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 5 made threes against the Sacramento Kings. The only other two Bulls player to ever have a stat line similar to that is Michael Jordan and Nikola Vucevic. Can you believe it? But hey, they did it. And then the last game that the Chicago Bulls played in prior to the Kings game, Zach Lavine, that was his 5th straight 30-point game. Only him, DeMar DeRozan, and Michael Jeffrey Jordan was able to do it. Now, these guys only did it a few times with the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan did it 28 times with the Chicago Bulls going on those type of stretches. But, hey, you got to give kudos to Zach Lavine. The man was pretty much counted out. I wanted to ship it. Once he requested his trade, I was through with him. But then I understand, like, he might not be going nowhere. Do you want to go ahead and still be a part of the family, my guy? I don't know. But I do say this. The man is putting on a hell of a season. He's done everything that you wanted him to do. He's been professional as hell. He's been taking care of business basketball-wise. He's not holding back any of the young guys. He's allowing guys to just simply be themselves. And when it's time to take over, help the squad, Zach Lavine, especially the last few weeks, has answered the call. And last night versus those Sacramento Kings, I wanted to see Zach Lavine receive an opportunity to try to close the game. Yeah, he tried to, but then the Bulls called a timeout and came out of the timeout and got a 5-second violation. How? Ruined us the last few seconds of good basketball to see if Zach Lavine can knock it down and put us in a position to win. Look, it was a tough thing to do. It was definitely it had something to do with Josh Giddey getting the ball in the damn play, and it had something to do with that badass play that Billy Donovan drew up. What did you draw up, my guy? I seen you get DeMar DeRozan open just as many times as you wanted to versus this one simple game where you couldn't get the ball in the damn court to have a chance to tie the game. You know what I'm saying? Or at least get closer in the deficit. So not necessarily all Zach Lavine's fault, but we missed out on some last, it was a good basketball game, but I believe it could have went down to the wire. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the wire. If the Chicago Bulls get that pass inbounded the correct way. Who knows? We could have seen something out of one of these guys. And I will say this, we did miss Kobe White's 3-point making ability. It going down the stretch. I think that his 3-pointer and the way that he's able to attack the basket and space the floor, I think he would have gave the Chicago Bulls another opportunity. But this is where we are. You win some, you lose some in this NBA. And I hope that the Bulls are not afraid of being 500. Look, it is what it is. I know there are people that are still clamoring for the Bulls to tank away the season or, you know what I'm saying, or just go after the draft picks. But it appears to me that the Chicago Bulls are saying to hell with that draft pick. We want to win basketball games. That's what it appears to me. So I guess I got to get on board with that. Regardless of how we feeling about the sake of this team, it looks like the Chicago Bulls want to win games. So if you want to win games, I hope y'all ass ain't afraid of 500. Because every time you get close to 500, you lose 2-3 in a row and then get further away from 500. Edge and fight your way back closer to 500 just to get knocked right back down for being so far away from 500. So if y'all catching all the 500s I'm putting out there, go 500 for you, 500 for you, 500 for you, 500 for you. All right, enough of me playing. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Zach Lavine, he's putting on an all-star campaign. DeMar DeRozan, his former teammate, is one of those guys, is saying that he hopes that Zach Lavine gets a look at being an all-star again. Me personally, I very well think he deserved that. I know all-star games can be a fan mania You know what I'm saying? It could be crazy with the fan voting. I even seen Paulo Banchero up there in the top 10 of voting. And I'm like, this man only played 5 games this season before returning the other day. So I understand it. Hopefully some coaches or somebody vote him in. We'll see what happens with that. And yeah, that should be the only Chicago Bulls all-star. I don't know if Nikola Vucevic is going to get that type of love. It's already hard getting love for Zach Lavine. You know what I'm saying? So I say continue to do what you do, Zach Lavine. It's a lot of people quiet right now. There's a lot of people wanting to take back some words, and it's okay. It's okay. But that is it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in into another episode. Before you roll up out of here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red, baby. And y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.